What is going on YouTube? So we now have three big, heavy sustain hitting units. I don't mean attack. I mean just being like you can put one of these three units on a team and just be completely fine for sustain. You do not have to worry about healing or anything else with the rest of your units on this team. You can do whatever you want for the rest of that. All three of these are very good for MOC and just any piece of content within the game. Obviously, first up we have Huahua. Next up we have Fushun, and then we also have Luocha. So we're going to be discussing just exactly which one of these three is the best. In all intents and purposes, let's just go ahead and get the TLDR out of the way. If you have only one of these three units, you should be very happy because all three of them are fantastic. They are all very good, strong units, and they do what needs to be done. Obviously, you know, they each do different things, and we're going to go ahead and try now with Huahua being out for a little bit. We're going to try to decide which one of these three actually provides the most for your team. But yeah, if you have just one of them, like let's say you just have Luocha, you just have Fushun, you just have Huahua, be very happy because they're very strong. So we're going to go ahead and dive into all three of them, a very quick, fast-paced overview of what they did. Luocha, obviously being the first major sustain unit in the game. A lot of people very upset they weren't able to get him on his initial release, but you know, we ended up getting Fushun and then Huahua, so that's just, you know, just what he does. So Luocha, what does he do? So once you use a skill, he immediately restores the target ally's HP equal to 40% of his attack plus 200 and gain 1 stack of Abyss Flower. When Abyss Flower reaches 2 stacks, Luocha consumes all stacks of it and deploy a field against the enemy. When any enemy in the field is attacked by an ally, the attacking ally's HP is immediately restored to an amount equal to 12% of Luocha's attack plus 60%. So as you can see here, that's essentially the healing portion of it. You also have his ultimate, which he removes 1 buff from all enemies and deals imaginary damage to all of them, and also getting a stack of Abyss Flower, while also getting Abyss Flower with his skill. But he really wants to get the Abyss Flower because you're going to be restoring allies' HP whenever they attack an enemy who has the Abyss Flower debuff on them. So, you know, you're going to really want his attack to be high because the higher his attack, the better your healing is going to be. So as we can see here, Luocha is pretty much linear in what he does. He doesn't really provide a whole lot. We're not going to be going over the Eidolons. We're just going to be looking at these characters at E0. And we're not even going to be looking at their signature icons. It's just the characters themselves. Next up, we have Fushun, the second major sustain unit that came out. So what does Fushun does? So her skill, you activate the matrix of presence via which other team members will distribute 65% of the damage they receive before this damage is mitigated by any shields. So that's very nice. So you're going to be mitigating the damage before the shield mitigation starts. 2 Fushun for 3 turns. When affected by matrix of presence, all team members gain knowledge effect, which increases their respective max HP by 3% and Fushun's max HP and increases crit rate by 6%. When Fushun is knocked down, the matrix of presence will be dispelled. So as we can see here, a little something that she does that Luocha does not do. While yes, she provides very good distribution of damage to herself for 3 turns, while also increasing the maximum HP of all the allies, and you know, just very good. You're also getting a critical rate increase. The ultimate deals 60% of her damage and quantum damage of her max HP to all enemies, and she gains 1 trigger counter for the HP restore effect gained by Fushun's talent. So, you know, obviously once we get that up all the way, which we're going to go over here, we're going to get a healing buff. So when Fushun is still active in battle, Misfortune Avoidance is applied to the entire team. With Misfortune Avoidance, allies take 10% less damage. Fushwin's current HP falls below 50% of her max HP or less, she will restore the HP for herself by 80% of the amount she is currently missing. This effect cannot be triggered if she receives a killing blow, and then this effect possesses one trigger count by default and can have a maximum of 2 trigger counts, which is very, very good. Her technique is somewhat okay. She gives all team members a barrier lasting for 20 seconds, so that's very nice. Obviously it's going to block enemy attacks, and so it's another little nice thing to have. So obviously we see here that Fushwin does a little bit more. She provides, like I said, the damage reduction, which is very, very nice over here with the talent. And the skill, you are able to focus the damage, 65% of it onto Fushwin, allowing your teammates to have a little bit more survivability, i.e. being a very good sustained unit. And, while she will take some damage, she will inevitably heal it with her talent. So it is very, very nice. The only downside with that is you have to fall below 50%. So there is a little bit of a stipulation there, something that Luocha does not have. He just does a lot of healing based off his attack stat. Now, we have Huahua. So Huahua is the most recent great sustain unit that has come out. As we can see here with her skill, she's going to dispel one debuff from a target ally and immediately restores this ally's HP by an amount equal to 12% of her max HP plus 140%, while restoring HP allies of adjacent enemy or allies by 11.2% plus 112. So very good. We have broad healing here to a target and then the adjacent targets, which is very, very nice. The ultimate is going to be restoring enemy or allies energy equal to 15% of her respective max energy. At the same time, increases their attack by 24% for 2 turns. Very, very good. And then we have her talent here is after using her skill, she is going to be given the Divine Provision lasting for 2 turns, and it decreases by 1 turn at the start of every time Huahua goes. When she has this ability of Divine Provision, when an ally's turn starts or when an ally uses their ultimate, they're going to restore HP for that ally equal to 3% of Huahua's max HP plus 30, and at the same time, every ally with 50% HP or lower receives healing once automatically. When Divine Provision is triggered to heal an ally, dispel one debuff from that ally, and it can be triggered up to 6 times using the skill. Again, resets the effects trigger count. So, as we can see here, Huahua not only heals not just one unit like Fushwin, she heals herself mainly. And then we also have Luocha, who obviously heals based off who you're attacking. Huahua just heals 3 units, which is phenomenal. And not only that, she provides a attack buff with her ultimate while also giving a energy generation, by a small amount, but it actually does help because you are able to, snowball this. Let's say you have a very good DPS unit that you are very close to getting their ultimate. They use their skill or attack or whatever, and then you use the Huahua ultimate, giving them the energy that they need while also giving them an attack buff, which is fantastic. And then you also have the talent here, the restore, the possession of the ethereal metaflow, being able to allow your units who fall below 50% to be healed. A small amount, but this in tandem with her skill allows her to heal a lot. So based off of these 3 units, where do they stand? Well, truthfully, I've kind of gone over this before and kind of taken a little bit of a different approach now. Now I know a lot of people are going to be very upset, but it is what it is. I actually think Fushwin is probably the worst out of these 3. Keep in mind, granted, if you have any of these 3, only one, they're still very good. If you have 2 of them, they're still very good. I'm not saying they are bad. I'm just saying between the 3 of them, because I think they are in a tier all to themselves compared to other sustained units. Possibly more in the future, but we'll have to get there when we get there. But between these 3, I think Fushwin is probably the worst. While yes, she provides a lot of damage reduction, and that's very, very nice, being able to heal herself as well. She just doesn't provide a whole lot to the team. Next up, I would say is Luocha, and obviously, number one being Huahua. But Luocha, you can make an argument because, like, what does he do besides healing? Doesn't provide like a massive amount to the team. While yes, that is true, being able to allow any teammate to heal whoever they attack, that has the Abyss Flower on, I think is very, very strong, and that's not, you can't discredit that. While Fushwen, it's very limited in that fact. And then Huahua obviously being the best because you can heal 3 units at a given time. You can cause one ally to who falls below 50% to climb back up and then heal them even more, while also providing a energy restoration and giving an attack buff. I think Huahua is the better of the 3. But that's just my opinion. Want to know what you guys think, so go ahead and leave that in the comments below.